Hey guys, want to do a review for Dune Messiah. This is book 2 in the classic Frank Herbert trilogy, the original saga, books 1 through 6. There's a bunch more written by his son, but I haven't really got to any of those yet, at least focusing on the original saga for now. I may get into the others later, we'll see. Anywho, let's get into a book review for it. So, Dune Messiah, without any spoilers. I would say this continues the story of Dune in an interesting way. We get to see a little more Frank Herbert's world that he crafted. More of the factions become more pronounced. I would say the Tleilaxu are explored more, as well as the Golas that are found in certain characters, and begins to expose that, which becomes very relevant later in the saga as well. So the Tleilaxu are dived into a lot more. The navigators of Dune become more of a part of the story. I'd say Dune Messiah does really good in starting to explore some of the logistics of prescience and putting you a bit more in a first person realm with how that is like for, say, Paul or a guild navigator or even a Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother. So it starts to get into, I guess you can say, the psyche elements of that and how the characters feel and exploring all of those things. Now, Dune Messiah is very much turning up the heat in terms of the factions dancing with each other in light of what happened in the first book. The stage is set, essentially, and there's not many places to go for so many. The Princess Irulan plays a big role in this book, and we get to see a lot of decisions made by her as well as others and evolutions of the characters. I didn't know anything about the second book getting into it, honestly. I was always more familiar with the original Dune story, mostly courtesy of the 80s movie, but now that I've read the book, I know that a lot of that was wrong. So Dune Messiah does good in continuing the ball rolling on that. And I would say that Frank Herbert explores even more so, I guess you could say, the religious tones that are in the book and addressing human condition and relationship to religion and culture, really. Because I think people would be mistaken to simply acknowledge Herbert's work as being anti-religious, because the heroes and villains of the story of Dune is humanity. It's the human race, the human condition. And we get to see how people try to address that culturally. Many times it's through religion and zealots who are created by factions, because this is where it's so interesting with the Fremen and all that is established in the first book. They are zealots created by the Bene Gesserit, waiting for the Kwisatz Haderach. And it all hits the fan, and Paul's trying to prevent a destructive future brought on by what the Bene Gesserit created. So I guess in a way you could say, in terms of how it addresses religion, it's in a acknowledgement of human influence on religion and creating it, right? So people would be mistaken to simply say, "Woohoo, go atheism, woo!" It's not that at all. It's really just culture, psychology, and conscious, aware beings looking to influence the course of history through manufacturing, culture, and religion. And yes, in a false way. But even for the religious people, you know that that happens, or at least you'd be smarter if you acknowledge that it happens. But I guess that is where the fire comes in this second installment of Dune. So, big fan of the series as it continues. Dune Messiah is worth a read. It's got a great run to it. There's a lot of stuff that happens, a lot of plots, and a lot of maneuverings in those plots. So this one is probably more of a roller coaster of excitement, but then you also get these various journals and quotes that enrich the series as well. And I do love how they evolve Paul's character and show the decisions that are on him that he looks to address and how he will address them. So those are kind of my thoughts on Dune Messiah. I definitely recommend it. I think more people would benefit from understanding where the Dune series begins to go after the first one, because I feel most people just read the first one and are like, hey, I read Dune and I'm done. Well, there's 6 books, so buckle up, Buttercup. And I do recommend continuing on. Again, I'm probably benefiting from the fact that I am getting through these rather quickly. Like, I'm on book 5 right now. I'm almost done with it. I just started plowing through them in the summertime. So anyway, Dune Messiah, it's a great read. I'm a big fan. I love the psychological and cultural analysis that constantly plays out through Frank Herbert's writing. I find it very insightful, and I know it has blessed me as a person in enriching all that is up here in the noggin. So take that for what it's worth. I hope you enjoy your continued reading, and please check out the Dune series. Again, it's a great time to get into it, especially with the movie coming out. Just kind of helps add to the excitement and appreciating the work of the brilliant writer that is Frank Herbert. I will see you all in the next video.